And good evening, team. Welcome to the 1% video. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we're going to be doing on our 1% challenge over the next 100 days. Officially, our 100-day challenge starts next Monday, but there's a few things that we're going to need to do previously to that and to kind of get you guys ready. So you're going to get a contact from me over the next couple of days. I'm going to be messaging most of you, talking to you about goals and ambitions that we're going to try and achieve over the next 100 days. But I'm going to briefly outline our 1% challenge. I know I've talked to you a little bit about the challenge before, and also want to go a little bit more in depth what that means and what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be testing, and what that means for the sessions and our overall goals. So first of all, guys, the 1% challenge is designed to try and get you guys in the top 1% of the fittest, healthiest people in the UK. For those of you that saw my video before, I talked about in the 1960s how different people were and compared to how people are in 2024. So it goes something like the average, there was like 1% of adult males in the 1960s that were technically classed as obese, whereas and I think it was 2% of women were classed as obese in the 1960s, whereas in 2024, 27% of women are classed as obese and 25% of men are classed as obese in 2024. So that's a huge increase in the amount of people that are overweight and aren't physically active and fit. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get our numbers back up and try and get in the top 1% of physically fittest people in the UK. This is going to be done for your gender and it's going to be done for your age as well. So again, we're not going to be working all against the fittest 18-year-olds. You're going to be trying to get, for instance, me, I'm going to be competing against the fittest 35-year-olds. So I'm trying to get in the top 1% of the fittest 35-year-olds. So what we'll have for all of these fitness tests over here is we will have certain categories that you will be in regarding your gender and your age. And then we're going to have a target for you to try and hit that 1%. We also have other targets that will be the top 20%, top 30 and 50%. So you roughly know where you sit in regards to the population. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get everyone in the most phenomenal shape of their entire life. Take a real consistent effort from everyone, and it's going to be an amazing event that hopefully we can all get some fantastic results from. So first of all, what I want to do for those that have done a challenge like this before with me, what we're going to be doing is something similar. We're going to be doing some fitness testing at the start, and then we're going to be doing some fitness testing at the end, and hopefully we see some improvements and get you closer to that 1%. The difference between this one is that it's predominantly a fitness test to try and get as close as you can to the 1%. So there's no winners amongst the team here. We're all winners if we improve. We're just trying to get as close to that 1% as possible. Now, for those that aren't familiar with this, the reason why we do all the testing at the start is because we want to see what you currently are. And then in 100 days time, what we want to do is retest you and hopefully see some improvements in all of those metrics. So some of the things that we're going to be testing are the traditional things that we test in Lean 60 days. And for those that have just joined, don't worry, some of these you've already done, so you won't have to do these ones if you've already done them. We're going to be looking at BMI. BMI is a great one because, again, it is just a generic marker that you can say, am I in my optimal height and weight? For your gender and for your age. So we're going to be putting you in a BMI category, which is very easy to do. We're also going to be looking at your body fat, your muscle mass, your bone density, visceral fat, and metabolic age. These can all be done on body tracks. Now, this is where it gets interesting because ideally, if you can, this week we want you to get your body tracks. So for anyone that is available on Friday morning or Friday evening, we want to get a body tracks result. Just make sure that you've had some water about half an hour before, so you've optimal hydration. You haven't eaten too close to your body tracks, and you haven't exercised before. Ideally, we want to do it before exercise, okay? Make sure that you're not wearing anything on your wrists, no watches. Make sure you're ideally as close to like sports kit as possible or sports clothing. And the reason we're doing these is because body fat has a huge relationship with longevity, with health, and sports performance. So generally people that are quite athletic, quite fit and quite healthy have lower ends of body fat, so they're closer to the ideal or the athletic levels of body fat. And in regards to muscle mass, you'll see on the sheet that I'm going to post in just a moment, you'll see that a lot of people have the higher ends of muscle mass, close towards the 75 for women, and close towards the top end of 80 to 90 for men. Bone density is something really important as we age. As I said, we want nice, strong bones, and as we age, generally for most people past 30, our bone density starts to decrease unless we are doing some serious strength training and maintaining high muscle mass and high bone density. If you're not doing those things, or impact exercises, or the diet is poor, quite often you can see bone density decrease, and it increases our chance of a breakage of, let's say, a hip or a femur. Visceral fat is the really important one that we talked about before, that is predominantly around the heart and most of your major artery, most of your major organs, the internal body fat, and this has a direct relationship to hypertension, heart disease, and stroke. So we want to reduce our visceral fat to an ideal level. After that, we're going to be doing some blood pressure. So somebody that did the test about a year and a half ago, we took some blood pressures. We're going to be doing waist to hip ratios. Now, we didn't do this too long ago, so we are going to be using those waist to hip ratios for those that did it previously, or we can get an updated version. So waist to hip ratio is really good because it can show us, are we in the correct proportions for people that are going to live healthy and a nice long life. What we ideally want to do is have a smaller waist than our hips, generally, for most people, and depending on your body size and type, that will depend for most people, but we're just trying to get in the top percentages for most people. Then we're going to be looking at VO2 max and a Cooper run. So the VO2 max is determined from your Cooper run. It's going to be a 12-minute run. Some of you have done this before. And that will put you in a category whether you are in the top 20, top 30, top 40%, maybe 50, or bottom 10, or bottom 20%. So the idea behind this one is that we're going to use a calculator, and I'm going to put your score for your Cooper run into a calculator, and that will give you a VO2 max. That VO2 max is really important because the VO2 max is the best determiner of how long you are going to live and how healthy you're going to be. As some of you may remember, we talked about lifespan and health span. Health span is the number of healthy years that you have on this planet. Lifespan is the amount of years that you are living. So from birth to death, but health span is the amount of healthy years that you have where you're able to be mobile, strong, and move about on your own without any assistance. So we want to keep people at a really long health span as possible. And VO2 max has been associated with the best health span outcomes. So those that had the highest VO2 max at any age lived the longest. And it was an incredible study done, I think in America, where they looked at over 50,000 people, and they looked at the amount of their VO2 max. They measured in multiple years, and what they found was those people with higher VO2 max lived the longest. After that, we're going to be doing some strength exercises. So we're going to be doing a barbell bodyweight hold. This is something we haven't done before. So we're going to be doing basically a deadlift off the floor with your body weight on the bar. So whatever your body weight is, you're going to hold that barbell and you're going to hold it off the floor for as long as you can. This is a grip strength exercise. And again, this will put you in a category. Depending how long you can hold it, will put you in a certain category. So that's why you want to have a really good strength to weight ratio. If you're very heavy but you haven't got as much strength, then you'll find that your time will be quite low. If you've got a really good strength to weight ratio, you should see that your time will be quite high. Same with the 500-meter row. This is a really good muscular endurance exercise. Again, you're maximizing that effort, high heart rate, and you're trying to, there's a large output on that exercise. And it is, again, for that kind of 1.5 to 2 minute mark. So it's a great exercise to kind of see what your metabolic conditioning is like. The next one that we're going to be doing is pull-ups. Pull-ups are a fantastic one because not many people in the UK can do pull-ups as an adult. And this is a really good target, and we can look at exactly the numbers that you need to achieve as an adult to get in the top 1%. Now, I know a lot of you are looking at me like, no way, Ben, am I able to do pull-ups? Again, it's all about progression and improvement, but with the right, if you're holding on to a little extra body fat and you get down to kind of that ideal level or closer towards average, and you start to build strength as well, you should start to see your pull-ups get better. And who knows, I know there's definitely about 4 or 5 of you I think that could do a couple of pull-ups by the end of it. So pull-ups is going to be something that we're going to be working on, and you'll be able to see those numbers in the sheet. We're also going to be doing pistol squats. These are going to be box pistol squats, where you're starting at the top. You're going to try and go as low as possible, full extension, and then all the way back up, doing a pistol squat or multiple reps of pistol squat on the box. And you're going to do that on each leg. So this is something we're going to work on, and this is something that I think that we can get a lot of you doing. A little bit technique based, but we can definitely get a lot of you to a pretty decent level of a pistol squat. We're then going to be doing a standard push-up test where we're going to have some stands where your chest has to touch and your chest and your chin has to touch a marker to get all the way down and to count as a push-up and the full extension. And that's going to be 1 minute, and that's going to be muscular endurance as well. We then have our traditional strength exercises, which are going to be a 1 rep max bench press, deadlift, back squat, and strict shoulder press. The only thing about this though is that it's going to be based on strength to weight ratio. So you're going to be trying to lift the most amount of weight possible, but we're going to put you in a category depending on the amount of weight that you lift. So for instance, if you can lift your body weight, that's 1 times your body weight. If you can lift 1.5 times or 1.5 times your body weight, that's going to probably put you in the top category. If you can lift, let's say, 2 times your body weight for a squat, that's going to put you in the top 10%. And if you can lift 2.5 times your body weight for a squat for men, that's going to put you in the top 1%. So that's a couple of ideas of what we're going to be working on, especially with the deadlift and bench press. We're going to be working on percentages based on your body weight. So that's why we ideally want to be number 1 as lean as possible, because that means that all of your body weight is hopefully going to be mostly muscle. Get you lighter, because the lighter you are, the less weight you have to be able to rep to hit your body weight, or the more weight you can shift, the better strength to weight ratio you have. The last 3 are going to be a flexibility test, because I know a lot of you struggle with flexibility. So it's a sit and reach test, and we're going to be doing a daily morning routine that you guys can do, a little video that you guys can follow to improve your flexibility, and hopefully we can get everyone to a pretty decent standard of flexibility by the end of this. There's also another one that is reaction time. So something that decreases over time is speed of reactions. So what you might see for those that with older parents, or some of you may even feel it, is that your speed and being able to react to something slows down as we get older. So there's a reaction time test that we can do that's quite easy, and that should be good fun. And then there's also a stability test called the Stork test. This test we haven't done before, and this is a great one for balance and coordination. We're getting a nice variety of different exercises that are really going to give us a comprehensive look at your overall fitness and health. Now there's a few other things that we're going to chuck in there, because as you well know, it wouldn't be a challenge without a few extra little challenges put on. So over the course of the next 14 weeks, we are going to have 14 challenges. Every single week as a group, we are going to have a challenge. So when you come into one of the sessions, I might not tell you which one, maybe I will, but we're going to have a group challenge. It may take an hour, it may take slightly longer, but hopefully most of it should take within that hour. It's going to be something that's challenging mentally, something that's challenging physically, and it should be over the next 14 weeks. You will probably look back and go, wow, look at everything we've done over the last 14 weeks. It should be phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to this because I'm excited to see what you guys can do. Some things will be physical challenges where they'll be really tough. Some things will be mental challenges where you have to overcome something, and some challenges will be not as difficult as others, but they'll still be fairly difficult in regards to different things. So mentally and physically, we're going to be challenging you inside and outside of the gym as well. There's a few other things that we're going to work on as well. So the goal is to basically get everyone as close to 1% as possible for your age and gender, get you in phenomenal shape and peak strength. We are going to have a training plan. So for those that want to come to the gym and train together, we are going to have an in-gym training plan that you guys can follow. Again, it's going to be a group training plan, and all you have to do is adjust the weights to you. So the reps, the sets, the exercises, the machines are all going to be written down. So all you have to do is come in and follow it, and you just adjust the weights to your own strength standards, okay? As well with that, we're going to try and help you guys a little bit more individually and specifically, and we're going to send out a few videos talking about some of this stuff, is how to get in the best shape of your life nutritionally, how that nutrition can really help get that body fat level more optimized. So we're going to try and get everyone's nutrition right on target, optimizing for health, optimizing for longevity and sports performance, but also making sure that everyone's optimizing for a diet that's going to help them get or achieve their goals. So making sure that we can get you all to exactly where you want to be. And the last thing, I'm going to leave you with a nice little quote that I wrote down, that when 99% of people quit, we want you to be the 1% that doesn't. And that's going to be the kind of mantra of the next 14 weeks. It's not only going to be about difficulty in exercise. It's just about not quitting. So if you cannot just not quit, then you should do really well on this 14-day challenge. And I know a lot of you, from time to time, you go up and down in your body fat and your fitness. We've got other stuff going on. Again, we're all living in life and we've got different things going on. But the best thing that we can do is try over the Christmas period, where a lot of people are generally starting to gain weight all the way to Christmas, that we are going to be getting in the best shape of our life and start 2025 in a phenomenal shape. So I'm excited to start our new challenge next week, and I'm going to send over a few things a little bit later, but hopefully you guys have a good day, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon.